Alright, I think I need to change the mic settings because... volume mixer, sound. Because I think... that... Let's try that. Okay, let's go here. Test, 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 test. Okay. Right, cool. We're here. I just realised I didn't have a mic muted while I was testing that. Now, whoop. Hello, and welcome to another game dev stream. Let's jump into it. Also, it's really bloody warm. God. I think the UK is having a mini heat wave at the moment. So it's very warm in my room at the moment. So hopefully I'll be fine to just keep streaming. Good. Over in the good old UK, most houses don't have air conditioning, and the only way to get it is to have like this big bulky box thing, which I've got. I've got an air conditioning unit, but it's loud, and I don't really want it to be constantly picked up by the by my really oversensitive Blue Yeti mic. So where did we leave off last time? If I pull up my Trello. So we have got one thing to do with the shop. I know I thought it was done with the shop myself, but we've got one more thing we need to do. So because of the way the shop currently works, when it spawns in and the player... it will spawn in and it will just remain on the field for about a minute and a half, right? Whereas... so I've got two solutions to this problem. One is I make it so that you can... the shop will disappear after the rounds end, when the round ends, regardless of how long it's been there for. Or I need to make it so the perk it re-updates the perks when you buy a perk. Because the problem we've got at the moment is, let's say I buy a perk from the shop. Let's say, you know, I go here, I click on the shop, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get, well, not buy a perk, but let's say I've opened the shop, so it's got the set perks for the round, for the time this ping appears. If the round ends, let's say I'm on tier 4 of bomb drop, and the round ends, and then I gain another tier of that perk, it won't remove it from the shop at the moment because it's not being updated. So when I interact with it, we do toggle perks, which does update shop update, which basically gets the perks and updates the perks. And then on the... we've got a shop update. Update perk, got skill system component, update perk UI, event graph. So if we go to the actual blueprint, Game objects? No, UI. So go perk button shop. We've got on here. It will get the that's all the cost related stuff. It updates. And it checks the tiers. And checks if it's available. And if it's not, it sets that visibility to collapsed. So if we get has updated true, we could always put another command in here. Well, basically, it needs to get the character's reference, check the tiers from the character, does this have a character reference? It does. But I don't know if I can. When we update the shop, I've got far too many things on here, Jesus. Ooh, press the wrong button there. I feel like it's better if I note this down. Let's get a notepad. So what we need to happen is we need it to either remove shop when round ends. That's the easiest thing. I don't really want to do that because I want the player to be able to build up a few points and go, oh, the shop's here, oh, I want this perk, and then build up the points towards it rather than instantly being like, nope, you can't get it. So I don't really want to do that. Or we want it to check if the player has maxed the perks, the stocked perks, when opening the menu. Again. So to do that, we need to basically get so player opens a menu. Player opens the player opens the menu. Shop checks. Shop tells buttons to check. Do we need it to be the buttons? Okay, so when the perk, they both have access to the character. And when we update the perk, when we actually grant the perk, we do update. One thing we need to do as well is get it so it tells you how many of a perk you've got. So that's another thing on the Trello. Make tooltip show how much the player has already unlocked of a perk. God, this shop is taking the piss. So we do check tiers at the first person first person character. We get that from the perk name row and the perk tiers. And we then, I reckon what we do is we go in perk shop UI. We're going to do a new custom event. There's a lot of events here because it's a very annoyingly complicated UI system, even though it doesn't look like it. So on a custom event called check perk tiers. And what this will do, it'll be a for each loop. With the perk button array. For each array element, it's going to get perk row name. We basically just want to copy this. Now we don't have a character ref action. There's one thing we don't have. Don't really want to do that because then it will go perk selected. Yeah, no. So we go each one. We're going to get the player character cast. Rather than casting for multiple times, we're going to cast once here. Get perk tiers. Mind you, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do check tiers. You just want to basically. We're going to get the skill consistent component. Perk shop UI. So we'll get the skill consistent component, do a branch. Get perk tiers. Delete that. So you want to find it and want to see if it's less than the perk tiers. I want to get collapsed. So if it isn't less, we want to collapse it. Like so, I think. Yep. And then We'll set perks available to true. And uncompleted. There we go. File save. So now, if we open it up and we go back out, I've completely forgot the key that gives me all the perks. It is... Oh, no, hang on. It won't do a shit yet because I haven't connected it. So this is a custom event called... Check perk tiers. So on the HUD... Check perk tiers. Let's just plug it in like that. There we go. Compile that, save that. Go here. Let's check what the command is. It's M. M gives me every perk in the game. No. Is it B? Why have I got two things for this? Fuck. Oh, God, which one works? Those are literally the same, aren't they? Okay, so if I open it up, close it, press B, open it again. Hey! Alright. That's good, that's dynamic now. That's what we want. So the next thing is... So we've got that sorted. Now we just need to get it so the tooltip will update to show how many perks, how many times it's been unlocked. Also, does it close when you buy one now? No, it doesn't. So currently where is the tooltip? So perk tooltip is currently I think I need a horizontal box. And plug that in there. So we've got tier, text, VV. So we've got tier out and max tier. So the tier is current. We need. So we've got slash max tier. So we get perk text, name text, update is a custom event that uses perk data. We're also gonna add in another thing in here, which is gonna just be a integer current tier. We set text, target text is so just gonna do the same kind of thing. You grab that over there. So we're gonna get tier. Get max tier. Actually needs to go where that is. And there we go. So what I should do is that should, in theory, make it so when I just need to feed in the current, not current tier. I just need to send that through when I update the tooltip, which I do somewhere in here. So I update perk tooltip down here, and I also do it when I update perk UI. I set the tooltip. God damn it. I also do it from event construct. Alright, that's cool. Though we might not want to do it from event construct because I can't pass through the data. So rather than event construct, you might want to do it through update. So we're going to go set tooltip update. And we're just going to get perk data, snap that in. No, wrong bit. Set tooltip update perk tooltip with get perk data. So perk tiers. What do we actually use that for? Find references. So use that down here for the row name and as well as that. That's why. That's why we set it rather than just getting it from the data. Just because that's honestly just because it's a bit easier. But in terms of the current tier, I've just realised, isn't there a function isn't there literally a function that reports back the forget blueprints in the damage component? Interesting enough, not this one. Player damage. There's literally a thing called query perk, which I do, which finds it and reports back the tier system. Why am I not doing that? Reports back if it has the perk, and it also reports back the tier level. Rather than doing this, it literally does that for me. Query perk. Boom, there we are. And I can do the same in perk shop UI rather than doing this. Query perk. Okay, and then we want to go button. Compile that, save that. We're going to query the perk, we're going to test the level. So if on perk update UI. Set the tooltip, we want to update, and to get the current tier, we want to get the character ref, get the skill system component, query perk. There we go. So now, that will do it when it updates. But then we go to like there we go. So that should update the tooltip now. So if I go on the tooltip, we should see 0 out of 5. Now buy it, it's still 0 out of 5 because it doesn't fucking work. Why? Because we haven't actually plugged it in here. So when we buy it, well, the tooltip is visual, so we can do that whenever. We can just do that after when we query the perk. I've just got an overwhelming sense of deja vu. I have no idea why. So we just drag this over. Drag that over. And put that there. Compile, save. There we go. A-ba-boom. So now, this might involve like an extreme amount of getting lucky to test this. But I want to go first person, content first person, blueprints, play character, first person character, and I want to go, so keyboard L. We're going to try and get move and shoot. Haste now, let's region up. God damn it. Give me the one perk I want. Wait, why didn't I... I'm an idiot. So just to test this, we're going to go first person, UI, perk winner random. No, not perk winner random, we don't want the random one. We want perk shop UI, graph. So in where we randomize the perks. Not randomize perks. In where we update the shop. We are just very quickly going to go if on the index. I'm going to get the index. If it is equal to 1, if it's not, we're going to just continue on. If it is, we're going to update perk. But we're going to do perk number... if we go to the skill system component in the data table, if we do 2, so it's always going to be haste, because that's something that you can upgrade multiple times. So we do perk number 2, and even if it's not haste, it might be buff bullets, because I can't remember if it goes off 0 or not. So we're going to go for perk number 2. And set visibility to visible. This is just a testing thing. So. It's a testing thing that doesn't fucking work. Because I haven't plugged in the condition. Kind of works, except it doesn't. Get the array index. If it's 1, update perk shop UI. Yeah, that's literally it. Oh, because I don't set it to visible. That's why. Okay, so I think that will always be buff bullets. Yeah. So now what I want to do is go back to my first person character. Buff. Bullets. Just going to copy. Buff bullets, compile, save. Go back here, so we go here. Okay, we've got buff bullets, we can buy it as 1 out of thingy, so we go P, not P. So we'll go L. So we've already got 1 because of that. We'll press L again. If I could stop fat fingering every goddamn key in my keyboard. So we've got 1, buy 1, okay. Go L, so we've just knocked it, and it should be 2 out of 5. Now we'll go 3, 4, 5. Perfect! Right. That works. Now at the moment, it doubles in cost every time you buy it. It also will increase on the time it spends. Jesus, it's very miserable. I might have to crack open a window. Because holy crap. I am dying. That is so weird effects going on with my shader there. I think it handles shadows. It handles the shadows a bit weirdly. Whee, teleporter. Right. It works. So... yeah. I've gone Trello now. Yes, and yes. Okay, cool. And that should be the shop done for now. I say for now because there's still a few things that will need to be done with it. So, what's left on the shop? What's left on the shop is we need to have this have an animation. But that will wait until it's got a proper model. It needs to have a noise so players know it's spawned in. It needs to have some kind of indicator so players can roughly find it on the map. You know, like how COD Zombies has like that massive beam in the sky where the mystery box is. Something like that. But yeah, that is, at its core, that system implemented. I don't know if this is the best way of doing this. I feel like it's not. There's quite a lot of code and scripting. There's quite a lot of scripts happening inside of the UI itself, which I'm not particularly happy with. But that's because a lot of this isn't... a lot of the stuff that's actually happening in here is the visual stuff. The only other thing that's happened... the main thing that is not visual is on the button itself is checking the cost. And updating the cost. But other than that, most of it is actually visual. It just doesn't feel like it with how much there is. But that should... emphasis on should be all of it done. So that's the shop sorted. The only thing I've got to do is begin play. It should be in no collision and it should be invisible. Because it'll spawn in. And it should have that command in the game mode. First person blueprints. Player character. No, first person blueprints. First person game mode. There we go. Increase wave number. Yada 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 yada. Yeah, so it does all that. Round started, and then it will see if it's a shock wave. Then it will do the countdown again. And it'll be like, it'll pick a random shop location, which is set at the beginning of the game, where it gets all shops. And it will do the spawn command. So if there's two, it'll be either that one or this one. And yeah, that's it. That's it done. I feel like I need to, with the brush strokes on this, like, smear it a bit more. Nah, no time for art style stuff. We haven't got enough stuff in the game for visuals yet. So, what now? Be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So, at the moment, we have got... I'm really far from my mic. I've opened my window, basically, so hopefully it'll be a bit cooler in here now. Probably not by much. Probably not by a lot. And you might hear some noise from the outside now. But, is what it is. So got about an hour left on the stream. I gotta leave slightly earlier than usual today, I'm sorry. But tomorrow and next week should be normal time, like usual. About 9 to about 11:30. So we've got the shop implemented. The perk system's in. There's 2 perks I do want to have a quick look at, so we'll do that now. At the moment, I think the drone is able to hit the player. So to test that, we're just gonna get an enemy. Get an enemy here. And give myself all perks with B. Okay, we're going to get a few enemies. Try and get myself hit by the drone. Doesn't seem like it, no. Yeah, no. Also, health up doesn't seem to be working as it should, because I should have way more health than that. Content. So drone doesn't hit me. I feel like at one point it was, but it doesn't appear to be. I want to go to first person character. Update perks. Where's health up? So we get the current health, we get the max health. Skill system component, query perk. Current health, max health. Get that plus 10. Is health up only set to 1? Because if I do B... Yeah, everything else updates as it should. Or does it? Hang on. Yeah, no, everything else updates fine. But the shop... But health up doesn't, so... Blueprints, skill system... Data table. No, it is set to 5. Odd. I think it might be the way it's updating. So max perk. Outrow tiers. Yeah, that's why it's the way it updates. Because you're not intended to be able... Right, okay. And I think it's because... if I go update perks, like update buff bullets, probably also doesn't work as right as it should. When you update it like that all at once. Oop. Oh, god damn. That's the game mode. That's the character. Yeah, that's just because I was trying to condense how the updating worked on it. No, that didn't work. Max perk. Update perk. Yeah, crap. update health up, place that in there, copy that over there, power that, save that. So we go L now. Still doesn't do anything. Why? On press L, maxes the perk and then updates that perk. Could you print? How the hell does that work then? Oh, that's why. It's not using the actual right name. This is when we're using names and text-based stuff. Yeah, so so it's maxing out, and it's doing the update perk. It gets health up, and it queries the perk. And it just sees if it's successful. So I need to change this so it's switch on int. Starts at 1. Remove that pin. So we're going to get the stats component. Get current health. Get max health. Set max health. Then we just set current health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really? You're not going to let me do that? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Plug in all these into... I just realised as well, Unreal's being very unlaggy today. Again, I have no idea why it happens at times. Like, it's running perfectly fine today. It's something I've been meaning to check in and, like, check why it does it, but I just haven't got around to it. And there we go. So now I want to set this to tier 1, it's 110. That's 120. 110. 120. 130. 140. 150. There we go. So now if I do L, it's maxed out. Same's gonna have to be done with, like, I think most of these do act like that. So sharpshooter, yep. In theory, it's fine. Because the only time you update the perks is when you purchase or unlock them, and the only time that happens is if you can do that. So in theory, I can leave it as is. So I think the next gameplay element I want to add is power-ups. Because power-ups are fun. So, how should we add those? Well, power-ups are, in games like this, they're normally spawned on enemy death. So, what we want is a very low chance of a power-up spawning, and then every time that... So what we can do is we can just create one power-up, rather than having it like 4 different power-ups. So basically all going to be a very similar object. So we're going to create one power-up game object. So we're going to create, first we're going to create the object. Give me an actor. And this is going to be called power-up. And for now, we're just going to add in a sphere. And it will just have... Let's give it green. Hopefully this doesn't glow like mad. I mean, it does, but that kind of works. Right, so this green glowing sphere at the moment is our power-up. So... in terms of collision, we want this to have... Let's give it a custom collision. Its object type will be... For now, we'll go world dynamic. And it will ignore everything bar the player, where it will overlap with the player. We need... I'm going to get a custom... Not a custom mesh. Sphere... Where is it? Collision. We're going to get sphere collision. A power-up. Collision. Put that in the diff... Make that the root. Add in sphere collision, and that's the root. Scale that up a bit. We're going to compile, save, add in a sphere, and this will just be that green sphere from before, And we're just going to shrink that to about there. Cool, about save. So we drag that in, we got that there. The mesh will have no collision. And this will have no collision except the player. It'll be world dynamic. I think the player can overlap with those, hopefully. So first we're just going to get begin overlap print hello. Well, it worked, but what the hell was that lag spike? Alright, whatever. So that works. Once we get rid of the army of men. There we go. So that works, and that should only collide with the player. So when it begins overlap, we'll begin play. We want it to basically... We want to do different things depending on what it is. And for that, we can either use enums, or we could use a data table. I'm going to go for an enum, because I think enums would be simpler. Mind you, is there a way to pick a random enum? So if I've got enums already on the shop for perk buy for on the obstruction. So we've got type. So we get type. Enum random. Get random enum. There's randomness mode, but that's not really what we want. So I'm going to set that. Get yeah, we'll just, okay, rather than doing that, we won't complicate things like that. We will just do power up. So when we begin play, is going to be a type. This will be an integer. And at the beginning of the game, it's going to get random int in range from, it goes 0, which will be first one, to a max of, we'll go 1 actually. No, we'll go 0. So go from 0 to 5. Switch on int. Actually, I'm going to very quickly, before we do any of that, I'm going to look up Unreal Engine pick random enum. Enums are just integers, so you can use random int to random enums. If you want less clutter, select. Enums are bytes. I mean, I can. No. Begin play. Random integer in range. I kind of want to make it a system that would be easy to add. Set reward max. In that max is 2. Okay, that's a bit of an odd way of doing it. Right, so we're just going to do it a bit simpler. We've got event begin play, we've got the range of integers. The type of perk will vary depending on see, I want to set it to an enum. So we can get to a byte, and then we can get that to an enum. But how does it pick? So I just want to test if we get type, switch. So we get byte. Then we get enum. And we do like that. So begin play. Does anything print at the moment when I start? 0 does. So we're going to go... In theory, if it's set at 0, it should say block. Which of course it doesn't, because it's not placed in the fucking world. Okay, and then if we copy this, paste this, set this to 2, and set type to 1, it should say 2. Which it does. Okay. So it's a direct thing. Okay, got you. So in that case, I am going to make an enum thing, and that's purely because it's easier for me to deal with, honestly. So we're going to make... How the fuck do I make an enum? What the fuck is an enumerator anyway? Nope. Oh, actually, might be a misc. Nope. Blueprint. There it is. Powerups. So the first one is gonna be the good old classic double points. Doubles players points. Doubles points earned. The next one we're gonna do is We gotta have insta-kill. Do we want to call it instant kill? What could be a fun name? We'll go instant kill. What else? We don't have ammo in the game, so we don't need like a max ammo. But we do have perks, and I think a fun, if a complicated power up, but a fun power up might be to a fun power up could potentially be to drop fun power up might be to set so we've got double points, instant kill. I don't really want to do a sale because there's only the shop only comes around every now and then, so that one won't really apply. No reload? Nah, what's a better name for that? Unlimited ammo, max ammo. The Infinity Shop. Infinity Shop. It makes it sound like the Infinity Gauntlet fucking put in a syringe. Like, stabbed through your arm. So we've got Infinity Shot, which is gonna be, so we got instant kill. Normal enemies die in kills. Most enemies in one shot. We've got Infinity Shot. Shots do not consume ammo. I don't know why I'm putting everything in caps. Other than the first sentence. Doubles, points. And shots do not ammo. Double points, instant kill, Infinity Shot. Invulnerable. Invulnerable. Player. Immune to all damage. And Big Bang Attack. Nah. What should I call? We got double points, instant kill, infinity shot, invulnerable, and okay, I'm gonna remove double points. I'm gonna move this down somewhere else because I want the first slot to be something special. I want this one to be free perk. Grants a free perk to the player. Grants a free perk. Then this one will be invulnerable, random, new, double points. And this one will be immune. No. Doubles points earned. Save that. Go close that. So when we begin play, we don't really need this. Get rid of that. So we're going to switch. So we're going to get a random integer in range. Nope. So we're going to do two random ints. We're going to get random int in range. If we do need the enum, power ups, power up. So first we're going to do from 1 to 100. I'm going to give it a 5% chance that every time a power up drops, you get a free perk. I might raise it. But for now, so we're going to get this. So if this is equal or less than 5, this is true. And if it's true, we set this to be free perk. If it's not true, we're going to do another int random integer in range. So we get max of so go enum. So we've got literal get number of entries. In get number of entries in power-ups. Also, first thing I want to do, so I want to print this. So we're going to print this. This is going to be green text. So in theory, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's 5. Cool, that works. The reason I want to do that is so that I don't have to constantly go in and change this number whenever I get a new perk. So free perk. So the max will just be this. And the minimum will be 1 because perk 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on a minute. I might need to do that -1 because if I get switch on int switch on int. If I do this, I get 0. Enum set power up. No. Switch on enum. Switch on Powerups. Just get an int. Pass save. Get this to byte. This will be 0. Then from byte we go to there. This should be, yeah, so that's 0. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go 4. Yeah, and if we plug it back into free perk now, nothing. Okay. So plug that in there. So 1 to, yeah. So random integer in range from 1, so we skip over 3 perks. 2, we want to get entries in power ups, and we want a -1. Just want decrement. Now we do -1. We're going to subtract 1 from that, plug it into max. And we want to set this to a byte and that into there. And then when we pick it up, we want to on begin actor overlap, we want to cast to first person character, because there we're going to need to give it the info back to them. And then you just go into the first person character. We need a custom event over here. Put it up here next to explosive slide, called Powerup. And we need to input the bytes, not byte, the Powerup enum. Powerup. Compile that, save that, go to interaction, go to Powerup, get Powerups. As per it, we need to Powerup, plug in the Powerup, and we want to destroy actor self. Switch on Powerups. And now we need to make the functionality. Yay! So the reason why I've done it like that is because this is a lot easier to understand and work with. Compared to if this is like power up 0, power up 1, power up 2. Because, like, okay, this one, which is effectively 0, is free perk. So that. I think I've already got the code for random perk. Yep. So random perks gets you available perks. There's a random integer. Checks the tiers. That being said, didn't I find a problem with this versus... No. I did like max perk. No, never mind. So for that one, it should literally just be a case of random perk. So the only way to test that decently is if rather than doing that, we just plug it straight into free perk. There we go. I've now got a sharpshooter. So that works. But now if I run into it and pick it up, it should never be that. Yep. Well, it can be, but it's so unlikely to be that it probably ain't. So we've got random perk, which is a very, very rare thing. That'll be like a, oh my god, I got a free perk kind of thing. And it'll probably give you a crappy one. But instant kill, infinity shot, invulnerable, and double points is what we got at the moment. So insta kill. Yeah, see. This all depends on... This is something that'll be a bit tricky to implement, surprisingly. So when we damage an enemy, damaging an enemy is currently handled in the weapon component blueprint. This fucking mess. And what we do is we apply damage to the actor. We feed through the damage causer, being the player, and the damage actor being the one we just shot. So that when the enemy gets it, so go to the enemy here. We can check. We check their stats to see if they're dead. And we feed through this command. I feel like more and more I need to make my own. What do you call it? So is dead, and it checks if it's player damage. The only other things that enemies can be damaged by at the moment that aren't player damage are the drone. They don't deal player damage. I think the drone just deals normal damage. So anything the player shoots will get instant killed. See, I can still because when I do player effects. Are power-ups something that should be handled by the game mode rather than the character? Because instant kill, that could just be a case of no, because then, I mean, most power-ups affect a player. But then, do I want to give every player? I haven't even got multiplayer working yet, and I'm thinking about how it would work in a multiplayer scenario. We've got blockade, we've got door, we've got pickup, we've got use, we've got random perk. No, wait, that's the interaction tool. I'm on the wrong one. There you go, game objects and power-ups. So we've got free perk, instakill, infinity shot, invulnerable, and double points. So I feel like I kind of feel like these are things that should be handled in the game mode, interestingly enough. The game mode defines the rules and terms of the game. But then again, the power-ups feel like things that should be handled by a character. So I think the actual code should be handled by the character, but dishing them out would be handled by the game mode if it goes to multiplayer. The thing is how do I handle instant kill, for example? Like, I know how I'd handle how to handle something like invulnerable. So I can do that. Let's do the ones I know how to do first. So for invulnerable, it will just simply be a thing of because that meant we got all this thing here of like, can they dodge? It'll be another branch called invincible. If they aren't, they can be that. Plugs in the wrong one. If they can't, goes there. And it's a branch thing called invincible. Although unlike invincible, where he gets his ass beat every 5 seconds, this one will actually make you literally invincible. I did call it invulnerable there, so I should probably call it invulnerable just to make it like more consistent. Invulnerable. Why am I doing invulnerable? I don't know how to spell that exactly. Am I spelling that right? There's an L in it. So no. No, I was not spelling that right. I'm going to call it invincible. Because I'm pretty sure I know how to spell that. Yes, I do. Just change the enum. Invincible. There. Bam. So when you get invincible, it sets that true for about... So we're gonna want to. What we want to do is we're gonna want to do a timer by event. I know, I love these things. But what we're gonna. The reason why we want to do a timer is because we want it to go for a set amount of time, and its time varies depending on the perk. So we need a thing called perk time. Custom event called perk timeout. Perk off. Perk timer, we'll call it. So we do that. Not perk timer, power up. We'll call it power timer. Power down, we'll call it. No, I don't think... Now I want to change this selector. But the index... Oh, perfect. That is perfect. That is literally perfect. Okay. So, based off this, if it's invincible, it will be... I will go for like... A minute feels pretty powerful. 30 seconds of invincibility. Man, that feels pretty powerful. 20 seconds of invincibility. If it's double points, we'll give that for 30 seconds. That's 40. 30 seconds. Infinity shot we'll also give for 30 seconds. And instant kill we'll give for... Mind you... I don't know about that though, because okay, here's the one we're doing it this approach, right? Doing it this approach is great, except for the fact that the timer will reset. And it's not based off each individual perk. So for this to really work well and properly, we are going to need multiple timers potentially. Each perk is going to have its own time. Each power-up's got to have its own timer. So we need to get rid of that. So invincible... Invincible, power down. So that will be a timer of 20 seconds. And the reason I do timer by event rather than delay is because if this gets set again, it will reset the timer, which is what we want. If you pick up another invincible power up, it will reset the timer for it, which is exactly what we want to happen. Got infinity shot. I need to organize some of these variables on the player because there's a lot. So currently points. Where are points handed? Event give points. From points. That's simple enough. So selector. I'll select float A or B. With A being multiply, B being multiplied 2. Double points. Compile, save, get that, get double points. Oops, swap these around. So if double points is true, it's going to pick A, which is points given multiplied by 2. Like that. And again, that's a very simple thing of double points. It's just set double points to true. Set a timer by event. Do a custom event. And this one's just going to be a case of double points power down. Double points power down. Compile, save as. Double points will last for 30 seconds. Now it's infinity shot and instant kill, which is a little bit harder. And the reason they're a bit harder is because of the way damage and guns work. I think infinity shot should be fairly easy, because ammo is handled in the weapon component. Here we are. Bullets, but I haven't actually got working yet. That's another thing we need to get working. So all we need to do is make it not take up ammo per shot. So current ammo -1 doesn't happen. So for that, we're just going to drag this, go in here, drag this, put a branch, and just add in infinity shot. If infinity shot is false, it will act like normal. If it's true, it will just skip over that and go straight to shooting. Where it... Go first, put the character... Get weapon. Where is it? BP weapon component. Infinity shot. Set that to true. And then set time by event. I'm gonna set that to I think 30 seconds of infinite ammo. Again, we can change these timers. And then the event is a custom event called Infinity Shot. Infinity Shot Power Down. Drag these there, so it's a bit neater. So double points power down is just a case of set double points to false. And same with infinity shot. Just get that. Set infinity shot to false. And there we go. Cool. That's sorted. That's simple. That's done. Can you do multiple events by one time? No, you can't. But you can do multiple event timers to a singular event, it seems. Ugh, my nose. Right. That's all that. The only one we've got everything. I'm gonna have to call it there for the stream because I've got to go in like 10 minutes. And I've got to get changed and stuff because I haven't actually got dressed. I'm just in my pajamas. But that's gonna be that there. We've got a bunch of. We've got the power-up systems implemented. Kind of. We've got the base of it there. We've got a list of things we've got to do for next time. We've got to make it so the power-ups spawn in. That's the main thing. And we've got the functionality for like 3 of them. No, 4 of them. We just need to add a functionality for instant kill and then making sure they spawn in, and that will basically be the power-ups sorted. The only other thing that we'll need to do then is change what they look like depending on the power-up, which is something that I'll do later when I've actually, made a power-up visual. that'll be like a particle effect looking model of like something, or just an image like floating. I don't know. It'll be something. It'll probably be a model, like a floating model that'll like spin. But that's for later. For now, we are done for today. We've finished the shop finally. I know. Feels like I've been on that for like 5 streams. I think it's been like the last 3 streams have been focused on this goddamn shop. But that's implemented now. That's fully functional. It works, and it should still work when I add in new perks. The only thing I've got to do with it now is visual stuff and balancing. So we're moving on to power-ups, and once those are in, it'll be a case of I want to improve the AI first, and then I want to make a map, and then we'll get onto visuals. And the reason I say improve the AI, because if you look at them at the moment, they're mostly fine, but it's the way they clump up like this. I want them to be a little bit more spread out and horde-like. Because at the moment, they literally form like a conga line. Whereas in games like COD Zombies and in most games, they don't line up like this. They kind of spread out a little bit. So I'm going to look into some ways to improve that. And I think basically the way is, rather than making a direct path to me, to make like a slight different path from each other and try to find a path that's not blocking each other. Because again, at the moment, this is functional, but it doesn't look very... It kind of takes you out the immersion to see them all bumping into each other like this. They don't feel like a group of zombie or a group of enemies. They just feel like a conga line. So yeah, that's got to change. The AI, it's just got to be a little bit better. It's mostly there, just a little bit better. And the tweaking the attack animations as well, trying to make them come out a little bit faster. Though that will probably, the attack animation thing will be mainly, that'll probably actually happen when I implement the character models proper. But yeah, this power up, I always forget you can do something really, just like pilot around like wee. Driving the game. Right. There's enough getting distracted with that. Yeah. So next time we gotta, with the power up, we're going to implement instakill. We're finally going to try and fix the split bullet perk, so it actually bloody works. And because then I will, at the moment I actually have 29 working perks, because bullet split doesn't work. Once I get that working, then we will have 30 perks that work. And then we can focus on, once these power-ups are done, which they don't seem like they're going to take long at all, because by comparative, power-ups are a lot simpler than perks, because power-ups are like, oh, here's a temporary check. Perks are like, oh, here's 30 things that have all got to work with each other. It's like, oh, God. Some will change stats. Some will do this. You got to figure out a system to grant them. All that stuff. Whereas the power-up system is like, it'll pick one of 5 things, and it'll make you, and then it will do it for so long. It's a lot easier. But anyway, that is what we've got for challenge for next time, which is tomorrow morning at 9 AM in British summertime. In British. And then then next week, hopefully, we can start moving on to improving the AI a little bit. And then after that, we can finally start making a map. But that will be all from today. Thank you all for coming in and watching, and I'll see you next time.